Assalamu alaikum guys. Here's a quick question. TK, we're gonna start off with a quick question. TK, let's see if you guys can figure this out. We talked about repeated, we talked about independent maze design, and we talked about mash pair design. ठीक है, तीनों डिजाइन्स में से कौन सा डिजाइन के अंदर ज्यादा likely है that there would be demand characteristics? Any guesses? I'm gonna repeat. Repeated, independent, and mash pair. तीनों डिजाइन्स के अंदर में तीनों डिजाइन्स में से सबसे ज्यादा चांसेस डिमांड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स में कहां पे आएंगे?
Repeated.
Alright, who was that? किसका था ये?
Irene.
Alright, Irene. ठीक है,
Match
Irene.
pair.
Mash pair. ठीक है ना? We have mash pair. We have repeated. ठीक है. So it's 1 for 1. Anyone want to go for independent? Does anyone side with independent, or does anyone side with Irene, or does anyone else agree with mash pair? Think about it. I have the third. So yeah, we have 2 for repeated, 1 for mash, 0 for independent. हमारे पास आखिरी student है, right? I'm waiting for the response. What would they say? 2 for mashed, 1 for repeat, 2 for repeated, 1 for mashed, and 0 for independent variables. Think about it. If you were in that situation, कहाँ पे तुम्हें demand characteristics ज़्यादा show करोगे? Where would you find out what exactly is going on? For those who joined, ठीक है ना? You just joined us in the middle of a quiz, well, like one question quiz. हमारे पास 3 designs है, right? We have mash pair, we have repeater, and we have independent maze design. तीनों designs के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा कहाँ पे demand characteristics chances होंगे? Which design will have highest chance of demand characteristics? So we have 2 people saying repeated, 1 saying mash pair. Does anyone side with independent? All right, we have mash pair, we have repeated. So like we have tie between repeated, we have tie between mash pair. All right, let's take a final answer pair. We'll go towards the solution. And by the way, these answers are important because you guys are giving educated guesses. So like there might be some sort of conceptual thing in your head that's going on. So yeah, 2 for mash pair, 2 for repeated, 0 for independent mazes design. Gonna wait for one more. What's it gonna be? Who is that one person that's like gonna break the tie? Or will they come in the third category? Where will be demand characteristics higher? All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Apparently we have a tie. ठीक है, before revealing the answer, ठीक है ना, mash pair वाले लोग, I have 2 people. What reason did you have when you said mash pair? के अंदर लोग को ज़्यादा demand characteristic के chances हैं? To the people who said mash pair, what is your reason? Tell me your reason. Tell me your thought process. Tell me your logic. Convince me. All right. One person asked me, repeat the question. The question is, you have 3 designs, repeated, independent, and mash pair. So you have 3 designs. तीनों में से सबसे ज़्यादा chances of demand characteristics कहाँ पर आएंगे? All right, repeated वाले लोग, what's your reason? Repeated maze design. What's your reason when you said कि repeated के अंदर ज़्यादा chances है where a person will show demand characteristics? What's your reason?
Sir, what did you just say?
What is your reason for saying कि repeated images design के अंदर demand characteristics ज़्यादा आएंगे? What's your reason? Repeated images design वाले लोग.
Sir, because you're going through the same, the same experiment again. So maybe the participant will suspect कि उनके साथ experiment हो रहा है, and then they will do better time.
All right. So I'm going to take your answer. क्योंकि interesting that someone else said the exact same thing while you were saying it. ठीक है, so Narmeen typed it, you said it, and you both are right. सबसे ज़्यादा chances of demand characteristics occurring is in the repeated images design. क्योंकि all the other experiments where you're in match pair, independent images design, whatever that is, वहाँ पे उस case के अंदर you go through the experiment only once. Chances are if you go through the experiments again and again and again, you're going to eventually figure out what the hell is going on यहाँ पे, and you're going to behave in an unnatural manner. If I want to give an example, the example is going to be, let's suppose कि मैं तुम्हें coke पिलाता हूँ, and that's it. You don't know मैं तुम्हें coke क्यों पिला रहा हूँ. Maybe it's an experiment, maybe it's a reward, maybe I'm just being kind. You don't know, you will just drink coke. But after you drink coke, I'm going to give you 7-Up. Then I'm going to give you Pepsi. Then I'm going to give Fanta. And you're like, hold on, this is not natural. Even though you might not figure out the aim of the experiment, but you're going to figure out something's going on यहाँ पे, and you're going to behave in an unnatural manner. So that's what repeated images design is. You go through many conditions, you're eventually going to figure out something's going on, and वहाँ पे demand characteristics दिखाओगे. So something that you need to remember. ठीक है, आगे जाके I hope कि हमारे face to face classes जल्दी शुरू हो जाए, क्योंकि I don't know, I like to experiment as well. So like I'm designing a game, a card game, जहाँ पे पूरे research method के concepts होंगे, and like I'm really trying to figure out कि मैं card game किस तरह design करूँ, क्योंकि I don't want it to be boring. So like I hope to like introduce that game with you, जहाँ पे you're going to be earning points in that card game and designing experiments as well based on that card game, and eventually learning the concept as well. So that's something I'm working on. So that's something I'm working on is my lockdown project. ठीक है, so I need to figure out थोड़ी बहुत चीजें. All right, हमने पीछे दफा reliability and validity की बात की थी. It's a new concept, right? I believe that people like you, you understand things when I show them to you, rather than just me telling you and you hearing it. So if you want to understand, this picture gives you a good example of what is actually reliability and what is actually validity. If you hit the bullseye, right, बीच में अगर निशान लगाओगे, that is valid. So reliability is that you are getting consistent results. So first picture के अंदर you're not hitting the bullseye, so your results are not correct, and your results are scattered. कभी कुछ सही, कभी कहीं है, कभी कहीं है. So you're getting different results every time. So this is unreliable and not valid. यहाँ पे you're hitting the bullseye, ठीक है ना, एक दफा bullseye पे लगा है, so that is valid, but you're not hitting the bullseye again and again, so your results are not the same. So it's unreliable but valid. यहाँ पे you are getting the consistent results, but you're not hitting the bullseye, so you are reliable but not valid. And यहाँ पे this is the golden scenario जहाँ पे you are valid and you are reliable. So something to take home, ठीक है ना. If you type in validity and reliability Google images के अंदर, this is one of the first picture that is going to show up. So something that you can use to क्या कहते हैं, make concepts easier. Acha, where were we? All right. All right. So yeah, हमें methodology शुरू करना था, right? So methodology, if we're going to talk about it, right? Basically, if I want to tell you what methodology is, so I'm just going to build a roadmap of हमने क्या किया. We have variables, हमने variables की बात की है, right? IV and DV, we have learned, or hopefully, I hope we have learned to operationalize them. Inshallah, let's see. We have told about settings, field है, naturalistic है, and lab है. We talked about designs, right? Now we're going to come on to the methodology. Okay. And methodology is basically, how did you get the data? How did you collect the data, or how did you collect the info, right? So it's common sense. You can collect information in 3 manners. या तो तुम लोगों के पास जाकर इंटरव्यू करोगे, one is interview. या तो तुम चुपके से कोने बैठ के ऑब्जर्व करोगे, दैट इज ऑब्जर्वेशन, या तो तुम एक फॉर्म फिल करवाओगे जहां पे लोग अपने रिस्पॉन्सेस रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, दैट इज अ क्वेश्चनर. सो थ्री methods that you can use to collect data, and we're going to talk about them. एक होता है self report. So self report is anything jahan pe you are gonna give the answer or yourself. If something is asked and tum uska jawab doge, that is self report. For example, how do you guys feel? A person says okay, I'm happy, one person saying I'm sad, one person saying I'm depressed, one person saying I don't know, whatever it is, but you are giving the answers of the questions by yourself. So when a participant gives the answers, it's called self-report. So like participant gives the answer. There are other तरीके जहां पे participant will never give the answer, और दूसरे तरीके होते हैं. For example, observation के अंदर, if I observe you guys, you're not telling me anything. I'm getting the answer from you guys by observing. So observation is not going to be classified as a self-report. तो self-report के अंदर फिर क्या चीज आएंगी? Questionnaires, क्योंकि you guys fill the questions and you guys answer. So questionnaire is a self-report. Interview, I ask the question, you guys answer. That's also a self-report. So interviews and questionnaires are going to fall under the category of self-report. Observations, not so much. So पहले clear कर लो कि self-report है क्या. Why is it important for you guys to know what is self-report? क्योंकि anything that is to be answered by a participant, chances are they will lie. Anything that I will do to get the answer without asking the participant, chances are I may get the correct, or I may get the answer which is not polluted in lies. Example, tum namaz padhte ho. If I ask someone, that chances are they're gonna lie. So वो कहते हैं हाँ मैं 5 वक्त की पढ़ता हूँ, ठीक है जो भी है. And another scenario is कि let's observe वो कितना नमाज पढ़ता है. I track him down, I follow him, and I just secretly observe him. Turns out कि वो नमाज नहीं पढ़ रहा था. तो when I get the answer without the participant involvement, chances are वहाँ पे demand characteristics कम आएंगे. So self report हमेशा याद रखना, there are chances that the people will lie and there are demand characteristics. So why do we use them? इसके अपने अपने फायदे. But before we ask why do we use them, let's first discuss what are questionnaires and what are self-report. What are interviews. So we're gonna start off with questionnaires. Anything जिसके अंदर तुम answer written form में दोगे, that is a questionnaire. The answers are in written format. I'm gonna ask you this, ठीक है ना? And this is true. जिंदगी में तुमने लोगों से सवाल पूछोगे, जिंदगी में तुमने अपने आप से सवाल पूछोगे, और जिंदगी में लोगों ने तुमसे सवाल पूछोगे, ठीक है? तुम्हारे जिंदगी में जितने भी सवाल आए हैं, all the questions that you got in your life can be classified into 2 categories. So think about it. All the questions in the world can be categorized into 2 categories, or 2 type of questions. So what are the 2 type of questions that exist in the world? Any guesses? It comes in your exam. You have given those exams जहाँ पे ये 2 type of questions इस्तेमाल होते हैं. You have been a part of that conversation जहाँ पे 2 type of questions इस्तेमाल होते हैं. All right, Narmeen says open-ended questions and closed-ended questions. Open-ended, closed-ended. Narmeen is right. ठीक है. Now let's थोड़ा बहुत explore. This might be a case जहाँ पे Narmeen ने sociology पढ़ी होगी, or Narmeen might have heard these before. But let's just talk about ये होता क्या है. Open-ended questions, closed-ended questions. Let's suppose कि lockdown से पहले when everything is fine, you went to a restaurant. Restaurant के अंदर you hang out with your friends, right? And it's a birthday party. You take pictures, ठीक है ना? There's music, whatever, ठीक है ना? At the end, when you're about to leave, before the final selfie is taken, right? There's something you always do after you pay the bills. You pay the bills, then you fill a review card. जो एक review card रखा होता है. Review card के ऊपर there are multiple questions. How good was the food? Did you like the food? How was the atmosphere? How was the service, etc. Normally review card के जो questions होते हैं, इस तरह नहीं होता. इस तरह होता है। ठीक है, 1 is like good, ठीक है, 2 is like what, yeah, 1 is like bad, chalo, 2 is like good, 3 is like, you know, not neither good nor bad, 4 is like yeah, I'm just mixing it up, you can just go with it, excellent, ठीक है ना, 5 is like, you know, out of this world, ठीक है ना, इस तरह। You have questions like these rather than just what, how was the food blank की जगह you have these, ये इस format में आता है। You have encountered these questions everywhere in your life. Exam के MCQs are in this type. There are certain answers that you have to pick your answer from. In choices के अलावा आप answer नहीं दे सकते। तो the answer has been decided for you. Your answer is going to be out of these 5 things. इसके अलावा 5 में से आपका answer आ ही नहीं सकता. So in reality, you have limited options on what to answer. So your choices are limited. Your choices are closed. Your options are closed. So that's why closed-ended questions come closed-ended questions कहते हैं, क्योंकि your options are limited, and only limited options means that you are going to tell your answer. Examples are going to be MCQs. इसको हम closed-ended questions कहते हैं. How was your, for example, how was your day? Good or bad? So now you're going to pick out of these two choices. You don't have a third option. You cannot say anything apart from good and bad. So that's also a closed-ended questions. And उसके अपने फायदे अपने उसके नुकसान थे, but जहां पे आपको पहले से options दे दिए जाएं and you have to answer from these options, closed-ended questions. ये जो पहला वाला है, how was the food, जहां पे you can write anything you want. That is an open-ended question. जहाँ पे there's no limit, there's no problem, there's no restriction on what you can write. You can write one word, you can even draw a picture of a dog, वहाँ पे doesn't matter. Open-ended questions, right, do not limit you, and you can freely express yourself. You cannot, जहाँ पे the answers are not pre-decided, decided for you. यहाँ पे the answers are somewhat pre-decided and you have to choose one of them. So that's the basic definition of open-ended and closed-ended questions. अभी तक you guys understand. I have a question. क्या है? My voice is lagging. अच्छा, कहाँ तक सही आवाज आई थी, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं पता चलेगा जब तक तुम लोग बताओगे कहाँ तक मेरी वॉइस क्लियर थी, कहाँ पे लैग कर गई।
सर सब कुछ समझ आ रहा था, बस आपकी आवाज जो है ना वो आहिस्ता हो रही है और फिर बहुत तेज हो जाती है।
अच्छा, वॉल्यूम फ्लक्चुएट कर रही है। ऑलराइट, अच्छा अच्छा, ऑलराइट, अच्छा, वैसे लेक्चर रिकॉर्डर आई होप कि वहां पे मसला हो, ठीक है, माइक का मसला था, मैंने अभी हाथ में पकड़ लिया। सो या, ओपन एंड क्वेश्चन, क्लोज एंड क्वेश्चन, वी हैव एस्टैब्लिश्ड दैट, ये कॉन्सेप्ट तो यहाँ पे समझ में आ गया होगा। कुछ क्वेश्चनर, अच्छा, क्वेश्चंस एंड क्वेश्चनर्स के बीच में फर्क समझ लो क्या, यू विल नॉट बिलीव कि ए लेवल्स के अंदर आके द पीपल are going to mix up the two. Questionnaires are collection of questions. एक फॉर्म है जिसके अंदर पूरा क्वेश्चंस भरे हुए हैं, क्वेश्चनर हम फॉर्म को कहते हैं। फॉर्म के अंदर क्या है उसको हम क्वेश्चंस कहते हैं, राइट? तो क्वेश्चनर्स एंड क्वेश्चंस आर डिफरेंट थिंग्स। आई नो यू गाइस नो, बट जस्ट गेटिंग इट आउट। सो हम अगर पूछते हैं कि what type of questionnaire did you get, what is the type of questionnaire did you get, we're going to look at the type of question that we get. If it is entirely comprised of closed-ended questions, so the questionnaire is obviously a closed-ended questionnaire. If the questions are completely open-ended, फिर तुम्हारा questionnaire is gonna be an open-ended questionnaire. But what happens if you have a questionnaire जहाँ पे कुछ closed-ended questions है and कुछ open-ended है? Then you are going to say your questionnaire is a mixed questionnaire, क्योंकि your questions are of two types now. ठीक है, तो based on the type of questions वो questionnaire का वहां से नाम डिसाइड हो जाएगा। uh, yeah, so like abhi tak self report ke andar we're talking about questionnaires in general. There are two type of questions, open and closed ended, theek hai na, and uske base pe we decide the name of the questionnaire. All right, इसके अपने फायदे इसके अपने नुकसान आते हैं. I'm just gonna pause here. I'm just gonna get a general feedback, ठीक है ना? And this general feedback will reflect your experiences throughout life के which scenario or which type of question do you like best. उसके अपने पीछे वजूहात होंगे and those reasons are valid. So I'm gonna ask you, तुम लोगों को open और closed ended questions में से कौन सा ज्यादा बेहतर लगता है? Do you like open or do you like closed? Which type of questions do you prefer generally?
Then
uh, open, closed. Mike पे किसी ने कुछ बोला था? Can they repeat?
Irene, I said close-ended.
All right, close ended, open ended, right? Close ended, right? People, so like close, close, close. One person likes open, the other people prefer closed. All right. Anyone else want to give their answer? Open ended. All right. Oh, close ended. By the way, this is not a part of the lecture, but people who like open ended questions prefer to express themselves. That is what generally people find. And people who like close-ended questions, they'll just like to stick to the point. Generally, ये observe किया गया research इसके अंदर. So I don't know, the type of question you like may tell you something about your personality. But I don't know if it's fact or fiction. I don't know. You can reflect and know yourself. But you guys gave me an answer, and that is a valid answer. People who like closed hate open, and people who like open don't like closed. I'm gonna take a tour of the room. ठीक है ना? People who prefer open wale. Why do you hate closed-ended questions? Why do you not like them? Why do you don't like the opposite end? क्या मसला है तुम लोगों को closed-ended questions से? Why do you prefer open? But why do you not prefer closed? Think about it. No one in your life has ever asked you, why do you like a certain type of question? It's first time in your life कि जहाँ पे किसी ने पूछा है. You get to express yourself. Someone said, I like open because you get to express yourself, like rather than just being straightforward. All right. And I agree. You get to express yourself. Any other fans of open-ended question that want to justify why they like open or why they don't like close-ended? I'm going to give you my answer. I like close-ended questions. Why? Open-ended questions just take too much time. That's just me. They take too much time to answer. Close-ended questions takes just 1 second to answer. That's just me. Saves me time. I don't mind expressing, but saves me time. All right. People who like close-ended. Why do you not prefer open-ended? What hate do you have against open-ended? All right. Irene said that she likes close-ended questions better because what close-ended can under there's no confusion, there's no doubt, and there's no unnecessary details. So that you just skip to the point and everything's clear now. बीच में कोई unnecessary चीजें नहीं आती. So that's Irene. ठीक है ना? She likes to stick to the point. That's why she prefers closed. Any other fan of closed-ended questions? Why do you guys hate on open-ended questions? Like, what's your problem? It's a time taken. इतना सोचना नहीं पड़ेगा how to express. All right. To the people who like close-ended questions, you just got tricked यहाँ पे. क्योंकि when I asked why don't you like open-ended questions, you were actually answering an open-ended question. ठीक है? So you just I remember that you just got tricked into answering an open-ended questions about how you not like open-ended questions. But yeah, your point are I agree with them. You need to express. There's time taken, and you don't stick to the point. But sir, other end you have people who like to express and who need to go through the details. I don't like to be straightforward. I love the details. I need to express myself. So you have two opposing people who prefer things, and then there are people who are gonna be neutral and says I prefer both. I like the mixed questionnaire. That's fine. That's valid. Psychology can there be people are gonna क्या कहते हैं pick out a questionnaire. Uh, if I'm going to show you one example of an actual closed-ended questionnaire, ठीक है, psychology के अंदर इस्तेमाल होगा. Hopefully you are going to study that in A2. That is going to look like A levels, A2, advanced psychology, phobia, GAD. All right. So this is a questionnaire, right? This is a form जो असल में hospitals का इस्तेमाल होता है, जो हम anxiety के लोग को देते हैं, right? You're just gonna see these are 7 questions के सामने options दिए हुए हैं, ठीक है? So this is the closed-ended questions, and जितना score high आएगा उतना आप anxiety prone हो. There's no open-ended question यहाँ पे. It's just closed-ended question. If you look at it, ठीक है ना, 7 questions, 7 circles लगा दोगे, ठीक है ना, and the question is done. Solve. कम time लगेगा आपको fill करने के अंदर. Number 2, the data that you're going to get, ठीक है ना, is gonna be easily analyzed. ठीक है ना, you don't have to ज्यादा सोचना नहीं पड़ेगा कि मेरे questionnaire के अंदर data कौन सा है. Open-ended question, however, will give you additional info जो यहाँ पे नहीं पूछा होगा, and sometimes you do need additional information. But yeah, let's just stick to the closed-ended questions first. The advantages of closed-ended questions, as you said, number 1 are that you less time taken, you can fill it quickly, and it's easy to analyze. Let's talk about the bad things. You don't get additional info, so you don't understand people's opinions, you don't understand people's attitudes. You just get what you ask, you don't get what you don't ask. So you might have missed out on some important things जो तुमने पूछा नहीं होगा, and you'll never know because you never gave people to express themselves. So you might miss out on certain things. That's the disadvantage. One important thing about closed-ended question is that the data that you get, the final outcome that you get, is always in numbers. For example, इस form के अंदर देखो, right? It was a closed-ended question, so the final answer that you get is in the form of total score. The menu card के ऊपर जो review आएगा, right? वो भी एक numbers के form में आएगा, 1 या 2 या 3 या 4. You get numbers at the end. And why is numbers good? Because numbers allows you to compare one person with another person and make a decision who is higher and who is lower. When you compare words, right? For example, like I had a good time, and when you have another word of someone, किसी और की statement आती है, like I had fun. You don't know who has more fun यहाँ पे. For all you know, I had fun वाली बंदी जो है ना, had less fun than the person who had a good time, but you don't know. You cannot analyze words. Numbers you can analyze. If someone says 5 and someone says 4, you know that the person who rated 5 had more fun than the person who rated 4. So you can compare people without problem, and you can compare people easily because number takes just 1 second to look and just 1 second to make a decision who's high, who's low. Words के अंदर ये मसला आ जाता है. I hope you get this critical advantage of a closed-ended question. You get final data तुम्हारा word numbers के अंदर आता है, which allows you to compare people. And when you compare people, you don't have to make a mental effort in it. But there are certain bad things about these closed-ended questions. इसके अलावा, the one that I mentioned, look at the form, right? Imagine कि तुम लोग job के लिए apply करो, and this job is of a psychologist, right? I need psychologists on my team who are going to work with me on the WHO project, and we're going to go to Afghanistan. We're going to go to Afghanistan, right? We're going to go and हम लोगों की counseling करेंगे, therapy करेंगे. And Afghanistan, there's a lot of things going on. It's going to be a stressful environment. So I need a psychologist that is not going to break down wahan pe. I need someone who has a high stress tolerance. Now you know what's at stake. Answer me this. Will you lie on this question? Will you lie? Yes or no? पहले ये बताओ. Are you going to lie on this questionnaire so that you can get that job? All right. Some ethical people will say, I will not lie. ठीक है ना? But chances are people are going to lie. So let's assume that you are going to lie. ठीक है ना? You don't have any moral compass. When you lie on this question, do you know exactly which option I should pick यहाँ पे to get selected? Do you know exactly what to say? पहला होता है मुझे झूठ बोलना, एक होता है कि मुझे पता है कि झूठ बोलना कैसा है. Can you do the second thing as well यहाँ पे? Do you know exactly what to say when you want to lie to get the job? इस form को देख के. Or are you gonna have difficult time कि मुझे कौन सा option choose करना होगा? All right. This form is about anxiety. For example, I'm feeling nervous, anxious, and on edge. तो जितना ज़्यादा score दूंगा उसका मतलब उतनी high anxiety होगी. So if I wanna fake that I have less anxiety, I know exactly what to say. I should say 0. Not being able to stop or control worrying. If I say 3, इसका मतलब कि I have high problem. If I say 0, इसका मतलब I have no problem. I know exactly what to say to show people I have no problem. So by going this theme, इस form के अंदर मैं सबको 0 कर दूंगा to show I have 0 issues. I will not select 3 यहाँ पे. If I select 3, इसका मतलब है कि I am going to tell people that I am stressful and I will not get the job. So close-ended questionnaires के अंदर sometimes the right answer is very, very obvious and people will select that. Real scenario, ठीक है ना, तुम्हारे कराची के अंदर पीएनएस शिफा हॉस्पिटल है, उस हॉस्पिटल के अंदर people who want to join the army, the air force, the navy वहां पे आते हैं and वहां पे हम उनको questionnaires देते हैं, ये वाला नहीं लेकिन इसी तरह का. And उसके अंदर anger issues, obedience, क्या कहते हैं, stress management. All the people who filled that questionnaire, 90% of them come up with the result that they're perfectly fine. And when I go through their forms, सबने 0 टिक किया होता, there's no problem, there's no problem, there's no problem, I'm perfectly fine. इसका मतलब है they know exactly what to pick if they want to get selected. All right. Now, on the other hand, उनको फिर दूसरे कमरे में लेके जाते हैं. Now is the time for interview, right? And interview के अंदर उनसे फिर open-ended questions पूछेंगे. Do you feel worried about the future? I'm not gonna ask 0 से 3 तक बता. I'm just gonna ask, do you feel worried about the future? If they say no, if they say yes, whatever they pick, I'm gonna ask them to elaborate. Now they're gonna have to tell me the reason, and when the reason that they give, right, sometimes वहां पे पकड़े जाते हैं क्योंकि they don't know exactly what reason is right, क्योंकि they have to come up with the right reason. Close-ended questionnaire के अंदर the answers is in front of them, they just have to pick it, to fake it. तो हमेशा याद रखना close-ended questions के अंदर it's very easy to people for fake it, तो demand characteristics are always high. For example, तुम्हें waiter का तुम्हारे दोस्त का restaurant था, तुम्हें उसका दिन नहीं दुखाना, you know exactly what to pick, you know what to pick 5, even though you didn't like the food, it sucked, but you will pick 5. And let's suppose it's the restaurant someone you hate, but the food was awesome, but I know what you will rate, you will rate 1. You know exactly what to say to, like, fake your answer in an effective manner. So this is the good things and the bad thing about close-ended questions. Quick, easy, you can compare people, but you don't get details out of it, and people can lie on it easily. Alex, something right?
Yeah, sir, but people can also lie on open-ended questions.
All right, you are right. People can lie on open-ended questions. तो उसके ऊपर हम बात करते हैं. तो उसके ऊपर भी मैं आऊंगा. मेरे पास थोड़ा सा लोग से clarification चाहिए. Is there any problem in close-ended questionnaires? All right. अच्छा, अभी भी मुझे थोड़ा सा close-ended questionnaires को थोड़ी सी और बात करनी होगी. Yeah. In close-ended questionnaires, अभी तक तुमने जितने भी, मैंने 2 एग्जांपल्स दिए हैं, एक तो रेस्टोरेंट वाला, फूड वाला, जहां पे ये, और दूसरा ये वाला, right? Look at the answers. इस फॉर्मेट में दिया हुआ है 0 1 2 3 एंड 0 का मतलब भी बताया हुआ है, 1 का मतलब भी बताया हुआ है, 2 का मतलब भी बताया हुआ है, 3 का मतलब भी बताया हुआ है। यहाँ पे भी वही सीन है, 1 का मतलब पता है, 2 का मतलब पता है, 3 का पता है, 4 का पता है, 5 का मतलब भी बताया गया है। समटाइम्स क्लोज एंड क्वेश्चंस इस तरह होते हैं, rate your food and the answer would be 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 इस तरह दिया होता है। They both mean the same thing, right? They both mean the same thing, but and they're both close ended questionnaires, क्योंकि यहाँ पे rate your food के अंदर तुम्हारा आंसर 0 और 10 के दरमियान ही होगा, कोई 11 12 नहीं आ सकता यहाँ पे, right? So you have limited choices to pick from, and how is the food के अंदर भी you have limited choices to pick from. लेकिन the format of the question is different. Rate your food के अंदर you just have numbers and no explanation of what these numbers mean. How is the food के अंदर you have numbers and also explanation of what the numbers mean. I'm sure in your life you have encountered these both type of closed-ended questions. जहाँ पे word के साथ numbers हैं, ये वाले, this is known as, इसको मैं डालता हूँ, a Likert scale. ठीक है, this is Likert scale where the words also have meanings. Sorry, number have meanings. That's Likert scale. And where जहाँ पे सिर्फ numbers है, ठीक है ना, there's no description on it, उसको हम कहते हैं rating scale. So you have two type of closed-ended questions. Either is going to be the Likert scale, either is going to be the rating scale, but they both serve the same purpose of being a closed-ended questionnaire. And it depends on what you use, but the both will deliver the same purpose. All right. So if we go by the definition, ठीक है ना, ये Likert scale के अंदर आएगा. This has a Likert scale format, ठीक है, जहाँ पे numbers के पीछे meanings भी दिए हैं. All right. Question for you guys. If we talk about a Likert scale question, जहाँ पे word के पीछे meanings हैं, right? ये वाला question. How many options do you think you should provide in that question? यहाँ पे 5 options है. How is the food? You have 5 options, 5 में से एक choose करोगे. But that's just me. According to you guys, Likert scale के ऊपर कितने options होने चाहिए? Do you say 3? Do you say 5? Do you say 6? Do you say 700? Do you say 1? What do you say? Manya says 4. So like we have four options. I'm sure Manya has a good reason for that. अभी नहीं पूछूंगा, बाद में पूछूंगा. 5 options. So like Aisha and Irene says 5, so there's 5 and there's 5. What else? Does anyone want to go with another figure? I have 4 and 5, 4 and 5. Does anyone else want to say 2? Does anyone else want to say 3 or 7? All right, Mariam Fatma says 3, Nermin says 2, and Safia says 5. All right, so 1 minute. Answers jaldi jaldi aa rahe hain, but I cannot write. So there was 3, there was 2, and yeah. All right. Let's work our way from the bottom, and we're gonna go our way to the top. So like 4 yahan pe, 5 yahan pe aayega. Let's start with yahan pe 2 options again. The double option wala. For example, how was your food? 0 is I hate it. 1 is I like it. Or like, did you have a good day? There's 1 जो yes होगा, and 0 is going to be no. ठीक है. This is a Likert scale क्योंकि numbers के बराबर में options दिए. कभी कभार इस तरह लिखा होता है, right? कभी कभार ऐसा भी लिखा होगा जहाँ पे तुम्हें numbers नहीं पता, तुम्हें सिर्फ वर्ड्स दिखाई दे होंगे, लेकिन उनके पास एक अलग शीट होगी जहाँ पे yes के बराबर में 1 लिखा होगा. So if they want to total your score, उनको पता होगा कि yes को हमें कितनी वैल्यू देनी है, no को हमें कितनी वैल्यू देनी है. So it doesn't matter कि तुम्हारी शीट के ऊपर numbers नहीं होंगे. All right, so this was it. This works, but this doesn't work. तू किसने बताया था? और पहले इसका नाम तू नरमीन. All right, Narmeen, ठीक है ना, you can answer but other people can answer as well. Narmeen, ठीक है ना, if I ask you, did you, your mom asks you, or anybody in your life asks you, right, did you have a good day? And they are that type of person who want you to see happy, right? They have a crappy life, but Narmeen, they're attached to you, they care for you, and they wanna see you have a good day. But Narmeen, turns out today was not a good day. Turns out you, तुम्हारे पर्स से पैसे गिर गए, 1000 रुपए आज तक नहीं कहाँ गए नहीं पता, 1000 रुपए का लॉस हो गया, ठीक है Narmeen? You tried some new food, you hated it, और 500 का डिश था, तो 500 रुपए भी तुमने उस खाने के ऊपर जाया कर दिया, तो like 1500 rupees down the drain. But you know what? At least you made it home alive, क्योंकि बाहर बारिश हो रही थी and there was flooding, but you got home just in time. So wasn't a good day, but wasn't a bad day either. And you know that. The person who you're attached to asks you, did you have a good day? Narmeen, तुम क्या बोलोगी?
I would say it was fine, like not too
You-
good and not too
You don't
bad.
have an option. You don't have an option. It was fine. Yes or no, message.
I'd say no.
You say no. ठीक है. Narmeen would say no. Other people in the room, imagine yourself in Narmeen's shoes. ठीक है ना? You have a person who cares for you, but if you have a bad day, they're gonna freak out. ठीक है ना? So you don't want to stress out that person. But you had a crappy day like Narmeen, but not too crappy. तुम लोग क्या answer क्या होंगे? Did you have a good day? Yes or no? Narmeen says no. What about you guys? You would say yes. ठीक है. One person would say yes. The other one person would say no. Anyone else? Third person, you would say yes. So question for the people who said yes. Question for the person who said no. Does your answer accurately describes the day you had, or it just comes close but doesn't exactly describe the day? Are you satisfied with the answer that you picked? मैं बस ये पूछना चाह रहा हूँ. Or you feel that, you know what, the answer doesn't represent the day I had in reality? Do you feel that way, that your answer doesn't represent your day in reality? Do you think the answer that you pick reflects the day that you had when you say you had a good day or you don't have a good day? Or did you feel, okay, you know what, I did not, the answer doesn't match exactly the kind of day I have? What do you guys think? All right, so you picked the answer not to worry your family member. Let's think from a psychological point. I have another, wasn't an accurate answer, right? And I'm sure everyone would say it wasn't an accurate answer, but came close to what I was feeling, but wasn't an accurate answer. So you have a spectrum, right? You have one end saying no, you have the other end saying yes. You want something in between. Some people would like something in between, but you don't have anything between. And ये तुम लोगों के साथ बचपन में हुआ होगा. Bill Narmin said no, I had a limited answer. ये तुम लोगों के साथ बचपन में हुआ है. Imagine how torturous it would be. तो अम्मी कहती है कि क्या कहते हैं, तो अम्मी कहती हैं होमवर्क किया कि नहीं किया? मैं लाइक, लेकिन अम्मी होमवर्क किया कि नहीं किया? लेकिन अम्मी हाँ या ना में जवाब दो. You don't want to say it. If you say yes, she's going to check your copy, you're gone. If you say no, you're gone anyways. You want to have the beach ball option. Lekin ammi, the thing is, you don't have this option. So you're forced to choose a side, okay? And neither side represents your true answer. This is the problem with having only two choices. Your choices forces you to go to the extreme end. If you say no, the other person that you're telling that you did not have a good day, right? If you say no, it's kind of din bahut barbad kiya. When you say no, it's kind of din barbad kiya, but reality mein aisa nahi hai. And if you say yes, it's kind of din bahut acha kiya, but reality mein aisa nahi hai. So having only two choices just kind of forces you to go to the extreme end. And it forces you to go to extreme end. So that's the problem with having two choices. You have to pick up the extreme and you don't have any other choice, and you're left with the answer that may not reflect the true feeling that you have. So could a liker skill have only two options? Yes, they would. They can scale when drawbacks में बता दिए. You're forced to choose a side. 3 के ऊपर आते हैं. Who said 3? Who said 3? 3 कौन था? Mariam Fatma. All right, Mariam Fatma, you have 3. So, all right. Mariam Fatma, I'm going to give you a scenario. There's an option called, take it out, neither good or bad. Neither good or bad, right? बस सही था उर्दू में. ठीक है. तो तुम्हारे पास तीन जवाब है जिंदगी में बोलने के लिए, हाँ, ना, या बस सही था. Scenario मैं बताता हूँ. The scenario is that your mom hired a tutor to teach you maths. Lekin he's not just any tutor, right? That tutor is someone in your relative, and they have a history. They have a history that unko bas ek dafa narazgi ho jaye, to they will hate you forever. That is that person. So when you were learning math from that person in your family, you hated it. There's no way you're gonna, okay, A grade nahi aega agar main inse padhogi. But okay, if you reject this person, वो मुझसे पूरी जिंदगी नफरत करेगा. You don't want to do that, right? You get they have good connections with your mom. But you know what? If you say yes to your mom, what's gonna happen? अम्मी उसको क्या कहते हैं? English भी पकड़ा देगी क्या? तुम इससे English भी सीखना. So if you say yes, you're gonna have to learn from them more. If you say no, वो नाराज हो जाएंगे and they're gonna tell your mom, and because that person and your mom has such good connections, mom's gonna like come to you and like ask, and she's gonna lecture you. In that case, when your mom asks, कैसा ट्यूशन था बेटा, तुम क्या बोलोगी? And by the way, this question is open for everybody. You can imagine yourself in that situation. तुम लोग क्या बोलते? सही था. Two people say सही था. कोई और है जो तीसरा कोई और जवाब देना चाहेगा सही था के अलावा? It was okay, right? Well, you guys are kind of in the middle. Sahi tha, right? Sahi tha kind of meets you there. Sahi tha doesn't give the other guy the thumbs up that you don't want to give, but you're not making the person bad. Sahi tha ka matlab hai like, yeah, but not really. All right. So sahi tha is a very, sahi tha ko samjho ke get out of jail card. It's that one answer in your life जो तुम्हें मुसीबत से बचाएगा, जहां पे you don't want to make choices, where the choices are too hard. In psychology, if we ask a person, and तीन option देते हैं, right? And we really want people to give the answer. Yes, it is a safe answer. And we really want people to give the answer. But अमन होता क्या है? They don't give the answer. Let me give you an example, an annoying example. You ask your friend, where do you want to go? You ask your friend, where do you want to go? एक होता है सही answer, like, you know what? You decide. एक होता है कि अपनी मनपसंद की जगह बताएंगे, their favorite. एक होता है तुम्हारे मनपसंद की जगह बताएंगे, your favorite place. And एक option आता है कि you decide. You decide. I'm not gonna say anything. You decide. Tell me, do you guys hate it when your friend says you decide?
What did you say, sir?
You have a friend, you want to go out with them, and you are going to figure out कि हमें कहाँ जाना है. एक जगह है जो उनकी favorite जगह है, एक जगह है तुम्हारी favorite जगह है. तो दोनों में से कौन सा ऑप्शन आएगा? They pick the third option. तुम decide करो हम कहाँ जाएंगे. They're not gonna tell हमें कहाँ जाना है. Do you find that annoying? Sometimes, yes, it's very annoying.
Yes.
Psychology, exactly. And psychology के अंदर This is a problem. क्योंकि if people stay in the middle, right? People stay safe. I'm gonna have a problem. जहाँ पे I will have a person at the end of my question where they're not gonna have any opinion. When you say you decide, it's kind of you don't have an opinion, right? When you say tuition का सही था, अच्छा था या बुरा था, when you say सही था, you don't have an opinion. You're just sitting in the middle. तो realistically होता है क्या है कि people sometimes to stay safe, they choose the middle option. If there is a middle option, they're going to choose it to stay safe. क्योंकि दोनों चीज में चूज करूंगा तो मसला आ जाएंगे, सो दे विल चूज इट टू स्टे सेफ. दूसरी चीज, लेट्स सपोज कि एक पूरा क्वेश्चनर है जहां पे 10 क्वेश्चंस हैं और हर क्वेश्चन के सामने तीन चॉइसेस हैं, यस, नो, मे बी, राइट? एंड द क्वेश्चंस आर 10 क्वेश्चंस हैं. द क्वेश्चंस, इसको मैं साइड पे कर दूंगा. 10 questions are like, do you steal, do you pray, do you study, right? बल्कि थोड़ा, do you study, do you pray, do you क्या कहते हैं, help people, right? Random question, do you help people, do you hate people, right? There ऐसा maybe की जगह sometimes कर दूंगा, ठीक है? Do you steal, do you pray, do you study, do you help people, do you hate people, like do you wanna do drugs, right? Random questions, right? And 3 options है, हर सवाल के सामने 3 options है, and you have only 3 seconds to answer. तुम्हें लिख के जवाब देना, मतलब नो पे सर्कल लगाना है, सम टाइम पे सर्कल लगाना है, यस पे सर्कल लगाना है, लेकिन तुम्हें सारे के सवाल सबके आंसर देना है. To quickly get done with this, तुम ज्यादातर कौन सा आंसर चूज करोगे, नो, समटाइम या यस? अगर तुम्हें जल्दी से सॉल्व करना है ये 3 सेकंड के अंदर सारे क्वेश्चंस. sometimes, ठीक है ना? Is there anyone else who's gonna go with sometimes? जल्दी से सवाल निपटाना है, 6 के 6 सवाल हैं, 3 सेकंड का निपटाना है, and you don't have to time to read. So like, what option would you choose? Sometimes, because it's the same answer. क्योंकि yeah, sometimes. So इसका मतलब, if your form is lengthy, people don't want to read it क्योंकि sometimes we're lazy, right? We don't want to read, आंख बंद करके we just say okay. लेकिन यहाँ पे क्वेश्चंस आगे पीछे, कुछ अच्छे क्वेश्चन है, कुछ बुरे क्वेश्चन है, तो अगर सही जवाब दें तो पढ़ के देना पड़ेगा. अच्छा बेहतर क्या है, सब पे समटाइम्स कर दो, सब पे मिडिल ऑप्शन लगा दो, ठीक है ना? मैं कहीं भी गलत नहीं जाऊंगी, तो यू राइट समटाइम्स. People will do this, number 1, if the form is lengthy, yeah, if they're bored. So to get done with the questionnaire, jaldi se, they're gonna choose the middle answer, ठीक है ना? And this is not going to reflect their true answer. इसका मतलब तुम्हारे पास जो results आएंगे वो invalid आएंगे. And this is the problem you have with the 3 option questionnaire. 2 के साथ ये 2 option वाले questionnaire का नहीं होगा. If you remove sometimes, अब ये 6 question के जवाब देना 3 सेकंड के अंदर, trust me, अब तुम पढ़ोगे. Do you steal के सामने yes and no, you're gonna answer properly. So by removing the third option, सिर्फ 2 option रख के, you are forced to read. But if you keep the third option, you're gonna choose the middle option at times. लेकिन middle option के अपने फायदे ये होते हैं कि they're not exactly, you have an answer that kind of reflects your true feelings, but the bad thing is कि 2 answer वाली चीज के अंदर you're forced to choose extremes. So there are something good and there are sometimes bad things when you have the 2 and 3 question format. अपने अपने यूजर्स हैं, बट अपने अपने मैंने तुम लोग के प्रॉब्लम्स बता दिए. द 4 and the 5 फॉर्मेट क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है ना, मैं कल करूंगा, राइट? क्योंकि दिस समथिंग दैट यू रियली नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. तो तो is that clear? Yeah, do you want to guys ask something? The problems of having number of choices. It is clear. All right. ठीक है. So if you don't have any questions, so like, yeah, you may leave, right? If you have questions, stick around. You can ask me questions. Otherwise, that's all from my side. I'll see you next time in class. All right. Hafiz.
Sir,
Yes.
can I change my answer to 7?
Zabardast. I was going to say 7 myself, but yes, 7 kar dunga main. Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
that's all.
noted. All right, Allah Hafiz.